After ISS retires in 2030, what comes next? The answer depends almost entirely on SpaceX. They are the single most critical factor determining whether a bold new space station, Haven 2, will actually replace the iconic ISS. And the reason is stark. Only Starship, their colossal launch vehicle, is physically capable of lifting Haven 2's massive modules into orbit. No other rocket on Earth can do it. Starship is even being considered to replace Dragon as the primary crew transport vehicle for the station itself. So, how did it all come to this? Let's find out. If ISS retires on schedule in 2030 and there's no replacement station ready to take over, China's Tiangong becomes the only permanent human outpost in orbit. Just let that sink in. This isn't a science problem anymore. This is geopolitics. A gap in human presence on orbit, even just a few months, is a blow to American credibility that no defense budget can fix. Fortunately, there's a contender emerging, and nobody saw this one coming. Vast Space, with their station, Haven 2. This company was founded in 2021, not even 5 years old, and yet they've managed to embarrass every big name in the industry. Axiom, Starlab, Blue Origin's Orbital Reef, with a pace that frankly doesn't make sense for a company that young. Haven 2 is, at this point, almost certainly the station that goes up first. VAST is already targeting the first module launch in 2028, pending their CLD contract win this year. But here's the thing, Haven 2 isn't going up all at once. Just like ISS, this is a multi-chapter story, and each chapter needs a different rocket. The first 4 modules, each 16 meters long, roughly 29 tons, will ride up on Falcon Heavy, about 1 module every 6 months, starting in 2028. For that size and weight, Falcon Heavy can handle it, no problem. But the bigger modules, the more critical ones, Falcon Heavy doesn't stand a chance. That's where Starship enters the picture. And this isn't speculation. Andrew Fustel, NASA astronaut and VAST's own advisory astronaut, said it plainly. The core module can only launch on Starship. That's a structure with an 8-meter diameter. That one sentence is the key to this entire story. The next phase of Haven 2 centers on launching a larger core module, 8 meters in diameter, aboard Starship in 2030. This piece, called Haven Core, is the backbone of the entire structure. Without it, Haven 2 is just a line of modules strung end-to-end, functional but limited. With it, the station expands into a cross shape, accommodating 4 additional modules, and by 2032 becomes a 9-module station with a pressurized volume exceeding 1,000 cubic meters, larger than the entire ISS. So, why can no other rocket replace Starship for this job? The answer is one number: 8 meters. The Falcon Heavy's fairing maxes out at around 5.2 meters in diameter, already the largest in commercial launch today. Starship's payload bay is 9 meters wide, 18 meters tall, the largest of any launch vehicle flying or in development. Nothing else can swallow a 8-meter module in one piece. If Starship fails, if the program slips badly, Haven Core has no way to orbit. And without Haven Core, Haven 2 stays a stripped-down transitional outpost. Never the permanent American infrastructure it's meant to be. That's why Starship isn't just VAST's preferred option. It's the condition for this project's survival. And I really appreciate you sticking with us this far. If you're enjoying the video, taking a few seconds to subscribe would mean a lot. It helps more than you'd think. But here's where things get complicated. Because Starship, in its current flying configuration, wasn't actually designed to launch a massive station module the traditional way. Right now, Starship's primary payload system is what the space community calls the PEZ dispenser, a sliding door mechanism at the nose cone that ejects Starlink V3 satellites one by one through a narrow slot, pushed out by a mechanical rail. Brilliant for dozens of small satellites. But for a station module weighing nearly 30 tons with an 8-meter diameter, you can't dispense something like that through a narrow slot at the nose of a rocket. What VAST needs isn't Starship acting like a candy machine. They need Starship to swing open a full cargo bay, the way spacecraft did in those iconic photos from the 80s and 90s, exactly how the Space Shuttle once handled ISS modules. Worth mentioning the shuttle here, because that's the historical blueprint. Over 30 years and 135 flights, 37 missions went directly toward assembling ISS, hauling modules, trusses, solar panels into orbit. The shuttle's cargo bay was 4.6 meters wide, 18.3 meters long, capable of lifting 27.5 tons to LEO. It would carry a module up, the Canadarm robotic arm would pull it out, dock it to the station, and astronauts would go outside to finish the job. That's how ISS was pieced together over more than a decade. Starship V4, the version currently being prepared, stands 124.4 meters tall and can deliver over 100 tons to low Earth orbit. A massive leap. But for Haven Core, raw lift capacity isn't enough. The delivery mechanism matters just as much. Starship needs a wide-open cargo bay configuration, not a Pez dispenser. And that brings us to a name Elon Musk dropped briefly on X. Briefly enough to send the aerospace internet into weeks of speculation. Starship V4. In a post from August 2025, Musk confirmed, Starship V4 will have 42 engines, adding 3 more Raptors to a significantly longer ship. It will fly in 2027. This version stands 142 meters tall, a 47-story building standing upright, with 42 Raptor engines across the full system. The target, 10,000 tons of thrust at liftoff, nearly 3 times Saturn V, the equivalent of over 130 Boeing 747s taking off simultaneously. And more importantly, in Block 4 configuration, payload to LEO is expected to reach 200 tons, double V3. That's not just a number for Starlink or moon missions anymore. That's enough to launch space station-scale structures into orbit in a way no vehicle in history has ever been able to do. Now, fair warning, V4 is still a target, not a frozen hardware design. Musk says a lot of things on X, schedules slip, but the direction is clear, and the timeline lines up almost suspiciously well with Haven 2's schedule. Haven Core is targeting a 2030 launch. Starship V4 is targeting 2027. If V4 develops on schedule and SpaceX rolls out a cargo variant with a full open bay mechanism, like the Space Shuttle, but orders of magnitude more powerful, then with a few years of testing and certification on top, the timing fits almost exactly what VAST is waiting for. This isn't a coincidence. This is engineering logic. And when all these pieces start clicking into place, a bigger question surfaces. If Starship can put Haven Core into orbit, can it also bring people up to dock with Haven 2? In theory, yes. And there's actually a crewed Starship variant already designed for exactly this kind of mission. Just not for Haven 2. For the Moon. Starship HLS, the Human Landing System, has a docking port built into the top of the nose cone, developed from the same proven system used on Dragon 2. SpaceX and NASA have already run over 200 simulated docking scenarios with full-scale hardware at Johnson Space Center. Now, if a crewed Starship, with a living cabin, life support, and that nose cone docking port, could pull up and dock with Haven 2, the potential is almost hard to wrap your head around. A single Starship launch could carry 100 tons of cargo and dozens of people at once. Dragon carries 4 crew and about 200 kg of cargo. That's not just a bigger number, that's a completely different category. But this is the part where engineers stop and start slowly shaking their heads. The challenge isn't approach speed. Starship can creep up to a station incredibly slowly, even slower than Dragon if you control it right. The real problem is momentum. Even after burning through most of its propellant, Starship's dry mass is still hundreds of tons. And when 2 objects make contact, the force on that docking interface depends not just on speed, it depends on mass. Haven 2's docking structure, designed to receive Dragon, Cygnus, and similarly sized vehicles, would need to be reinforced at an entirely different level to survive contact with something as massive as Starship without just buckling. Then there's plume impingement. The thruster Starship fires to adjust its attitude during approach blast out powerful jets that could damage Haven 2's delicate exterior. Solar panels, external sensors, all of it. Dragon's plume is small, well characterized, accounted for. Starship's plume is a completely different animal, and nobody's fully modeled what that does to a nearby structure in orbit. And then there's the docking standard problem. Starship HLS uses the NDS, the NASA docking system, built for Orion and Artemis moon missions. But for Haven 2 to actually receive Starship, it would need a compatible port. And right now, Haven 2's design is oriented around Dragon and smaller commercial vehicles. Not an impossible redesign, but a full redesign, recertification, and retest process that costs an enormous amount of time and money. And after all of that, after Starship docks with Haven 2, completes its mission, and the crew is ready to go home. It still has to come back. Re-entry at thousands of degrees, heat shield tiles on the belly, a vertical landing for reuse. Doing all of that with a crew aboard requires a level of safety certification that Dragon earned over dozens of missions across many years. Starship is still in the test flight phase. Not impossible, but not 2030. So, Starship docking with a space station. Realistic or not? Let me know in the comments. So, what's the most realistic picture for the next decade? Probably a clean division of roles. Starship as the heavy lift workhorse, delivering massive modules, enormous cargo hauls, the structures that define what Haven 2 actually becomes. And Dragon as the crew taxi, reliably bringing astronauts up on a regular schedule. That's not a compromise. That's the most logical split based on what each vehicle actually does best. But here's the thing that makes this whole picture worth watching in the years ahead. Aerospace history has proven this over and over again. When you have a machine powerful enough and flexible enough, people will find ways to use it that nobody originally imagined. Saturn V was designed to go to the moon, but its final version became the structural core of Skylab. The space shuttle was a transport vehicle and ended up being the assembly tool for ISS across 2 full decades. Starship is following that exact same path. Haven 2 will launch on both Falcon Heavy and Starship, a dual-launch ecosystem that perfectly captures Vast's strategy. Use Falcon Heavy to survive, use Starship to grow. And SpaceX's Starship now covers nearly every major piece of Vast's long-term roadmap. That's not accidental. Since 2023, Vast has stated its goal of building a 100-meter rotating space station with artificial gravity. And the entire thing launches on Starship. This relationship isn't just a launch contract. This is a strategic alliance, and it might be the most consequential partnership in the future of human spaceflight.